This is the next video of Mermaid Magic. This one is with an aqua color Dupioni silk cover, a sweet charm of a mermaid's tail with pearls, and then these super funky charms. Oh, I just love these dangles. There's a turtle with some seam binding and a seahorse and the mother of pearl. Just so beautiful. And then these gorgeous beads. I love some vintage sari silk for the tie closure, and another one of Susie's amazingly beautiful appliques. She just chose a bunch. I said mermaid theme, and whatever she chooses, she knows my style. They're just more than perfect. And a piece of her beautiful, beautiful sequin trim was so perfect. So this applique and the image with the mesh, again from Vanessa, the vintage buttons sewn onto the spine to attach the signature, and I've just left the back plain. That's kind of my thing. I like to do that. It's easier to handle. And then just some pretty drippings along the side, which once you remove the cards and the booklets, those are not in the way for actual writing. And then the fluff on the top. So very much the same digitals, the same kit that I used from Modernista Print Shop. And I think I divided them. I did use some of the girls, the mermaids, a few repeats. I don't like to repeat very much. But I did a few, and most of them are, I just split the kit and made the two journals. Beautiful crocheted vintage lace that I just made into a pocket, both in the front and the back of this journal, and it's got the aqua stitching on the bottoms. Some more of Gisella's beautiful silver, I'm not sure if it's antique or vintage, the rickrack trim. I love it. And then these beautiful crystal vintage buttons. There's some of Marjorie's beautiful papers with the gold imp on them. And then the beads can just dangle over the side of the journal here. Got some gorgeous vintage or antique trim. That's from Lavish Laces. And a pretty journaling card that I've just made in several layers. Added the chiffon topper and Susie's beautiful applique. I just usually cut those apart. Depends what I'm making. If I want to use it for a whole page, I usually leave it intact. Or if I'm using it for tags, then I'll cut it apart. And this gorgeous silk chiffon fabric that I've cut a piece into and made a large ruffle on the side of the page. This is a pretty tag that I've created using a charm from Michelle in the bottle, or the large jar of buttons that I bought from her. Incredible. There's so much in there. It's just absolutely beautiful. I love these toppers, the different textures, and then one of Susie's sweet little appliques at the top. And they can be written on, of course. Some antique ledger paper. Here's a beautiful postcard. This girl, Lady of Shalott. Just thought that went with this theme so well. Some vintage Shakespeare. Much Ado About Nothing. And a vellum sticker on this side. Here is an antique postcard. How beautiful is that? Told by the Sea. Just tuck that in here. And then a pretty tag that I've used. One of one of Susie's beautiful appliques in this teal color. And then the toppers with some vintage buttons tied onto the ends of the seam binding. And just a little bit of vintage lace on the bottom. Can still be written on. Beautiful applique on this side, and another postcard of the sea. This is a note card and envelope set. You are mermazing. It's just so sweet. Love the images. And then I've got some lined music paper that doesn't have any notes on it, as in musical notes. What I've done is used my gilding polish, smeared all over and painted all over the pages, usually just on the back sides of the digital pages that I have, and then some script stamping. A little mermaid image, and then here is in the center, or not quite the center, sorry, is a page from one of my mermaid books. Here's another one of some beautiful papers from Brenda. Thank you, Brenda. I have added to them. This particular one was a feather. You can see it underneath. I'm not much of a feather girl, but I loved her colors. They were just so perfect for this journal that I cut the page in half and turned it into the front cover for this little extra journalette that can be used however the recipient would like to use it. And then just straddle it over the page sides. And that way the beads hang down the side and don't interfere with bulk in the middle of the page. And then just attach it with a large paper clip. Some tea-dyed tracing paper, gorgeous image of the fish, and here's some more of that beautiful dyed crocheted lace. I love it. And another tag on this side with the antique French lace trim. I've added a journaling card or a tall tag that I've used beautiful applique from Susie and a charm from Michelle, the images, some papers layered, and some eclectic fibers, just to add interest. Here I've got a lace page, just a little flap, and some beautiful coffee dyed gold flecked paper, an envelope that I've added some images to. It's just paper, scrap of paper that I had, and I make it into an envelope. And then I've included some extra images and a tiny little fold over page. These can be added anywhere in the journal or tucked inside the envelope with some more private notes. Blue parchment paper, some gorgeous mermaid images. The centerpiece is from one of my mermaid books. I just love it. And I should show these beautiful charms. Again, these were in the button jar that I got from Michelle, which is Boho Crafty Chica. So beautiful. I love them, and the beads. This is a small tag. I didn't even do a topper or anything on it. Backed it onto parchment paper. It looks like wallpaper, but it's artisan paper. And then just attach these here for interest. On this side, this is flocked paper. I've added digital image, some silk. I don't know if it's moire, or lame, however you say it. And then some of Susie's beautiful applique trim. Sari silk at the top, and that can be removed and written on. Some beautiful sequined vintage lace from Georgianne, a decoupage, very tall tag that can be written on. And I just stitched the edges of this one. Vintage sheet music, coffee dyed paper, and a smaller tag done on the flocked paper with one of Susie's beautiful appliques. The other side of the vintage lace. And I've just added a small piece of the gimp trim that I love to use. This little tag was just for fun. I've added some of Sheila's beautiful sequined trim that I love, and a piece of rhinestone chain that was from Susie. And then I've just used the antique sand paste from Cosmic Shimmer in the rose color and backed it onto some paper, scrapbook paper. Here's some beautiful vintage trim and dyed lace. Gorgeous. I love this image. And here's a full piece of beautiful sequined trim from Sheila. I love it. I love using it. And the other side of the coffee dyed tracing paper, some pink parchment paper, and another booklet. I've got some of Sheila's beautiful pearl and beaded trim with the rhinestone centers. And I love the tulle netting. It just gives a nice gossamer finish added to the image, digital image, and these gorgeous beads. Aren't they so pretty? Love, love, love. And then I've just used artisan paper and coffee dyed paper for extra writing. You can always just tuck these into your purse and take them with you too. They're small enough to use for that. A backside of the paper from my Mermaid book, the lined music note paper, and then this journaling card. I've just used holographic scrapbook paper, a beautiful applique from Susie, some vintage trim, and some repurposed vintage jewelry. Very simple. You can write on the back. Super easy to make, and I do love this image. I know several artists use it in their digital kits, but it's just so lovely. Very, very pretty. This is some antique lame, which is what they used to use, or they still do for costumes. It's metallic threads. And then I just added some shimmery holographic trim to the center of the ruffle. Some of my Shimmer Mist paper, that's in a greeny color. And then I made these tags using this gorgeous artisan paper and some of the netting from Vanessa, which you've seen me use. I've used it on the cover of each of these journals now. Some beautiful gold sequin trim, and then I've added another repurposed piece of jewelry, dangly jewelry here, and sorry, silk topper. Backed it onto French book page, and it can be used for writing. Vellum sticker on the side of the book page, some antique ledger paper. This lovely journaling card is made with French book page and just some scrapbook paper on the back. I added a vintage hand crocheted doily to the top, used the antique sand paste in this beautiful moss colored green, and a whale or a mermaid tail mother of pearl charm to the top of the doily. And also this gorgeous vintage lace trim on the side of the page. Cute little girl in her swimsuit and bathing cap. It's a playing card, a vintage playing card. And then this gorgeous, gorgeous antique crochet trim on the side. I think it was a collar or a hem of a skirt or something. It's just so pretty. I love using it. And that brings us to the back of this journal with the crocheted lace pocket. The inside cover is just fabric, calico cotton fabric that I used, and another sweet little booklet with the vintage pearl buttons, lovely image, and some of Marjorie's beautiful, beautiful papers. Thanks so much for this gorgeous, gorgeous paper, Marjorie. I absolutely love using it. It's the first time I've used it, had a chance to use it. So that is the Dupioni Silk Mermaid Magic Journal. It doesn't really have a name yet, but I've enjoyed making them so much. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy looking at what I've created, and there will be more. Have a great weekend. Thank you.